get from all the other madness.
Yeah, man. No joke at all. You said our guest is in the dugout, right?
Yeah, I'm looking at it. Bring him on right now.
Yeah, let's bring him on, man.
This brother right here, I met him back in the 80s, man. I was doing doodles. He was part of my security team, and we stayed cool. And I've always seen him in the streets of Compton, and I see him now on Facebook, YouTube, dropping the history of the Compton Bloods, whatever, or the Bloods, whatever. And it was funny, man, because my sister, who's a straight civilian, she's more civilian than I am. She said, "You know, Ayatollah Marv." I said, "No, I don't know Ayatollah Marv." She said, "Yes, you do." I said, "No, I don't." She had a YouTube link, and I thought, "That's Marvin," and he was telling the story about the first killing in Compton, and the dude that did the killing was a friend of the family, man. I mean, close friend of the family. Of course, it was a lot. I met him a lot younger, but he was a part of my my inner circle of my family. His family and my family have been tight forever. And it just was amazing. I didn't know that story. I knew part of the story. I didn't know the in-depth part. I'm going to let Marvin tell you about it. Coming to the stage right here, y'all, with N.W.A. and now with Lonzo, with my man featuring Dusty Vision, my man Ayatollah Marv. What's up, Ayatollah?
Hey. What's up? What for having me?
You know how we do it.
Yes, sir.
You know, man, I was just telling them, Mark, you and I go back, man, to the 80s, Doc. You was on my man's team, the FOI team I had for Doodles. We had big events.
Captain Shahid Muhammad.
Peace. Yep, Captain Shahid, rest in peace. We always just kicked it off, man. Talk to me, man. Tell me what's happening with you. We're gonna get into the history for a minute, but I see you on YouTube. I was kind of mad. Everybody got you a step for me. I'm like, damn it. How they gonna get Marvin before me? But anyway, we here today. I ain't gonna hold it against nobody.
If I had known you was this close to me, I'd have got you way before you'd have got me. But I know you keep shit popping, but I didn't know you had podcast on us.
Oh yeah, Doc. I've been doing this for about 4 years now, and it's coming along real well. And when I see my folks on the air, I always grab them. I got to grab my folks, man. And we go back, like I say, back to Doodles and FOI. Michel'le, and been telling me a story, Doc. Talk to him.
I mean, yeah, I've been kind of laying low for a couple of months. One of the little West Coast Charleston White put a contract on me,
what?
So I had to lay low and make sure that I wasn't a body count, right? So
White put a hit on you.
You're talking about WACK 100, right?
West Coast, the West Coast Charleston White. Yosemite Sam, he
talking about WACK 100
on PlRU, and it said he told me he's gonna show me what that bag gonna do, but it didn't work out that well for him. So just publicity stunts. So these dudes are shock jocks, and so I just been trying to push a program, man, to bring Compton back relevant to where we are and what we should be doing. A lot of stuff dropped off, and we have to accept accountability of where our youngsters are today, because they had 30 years of absence of OGs really giving them instructions or marching orders what they should be doing to go forward. So they've been in a reverse situation for 30 years.
Now I got a question for you. What marching orders would you like to see them be executed right about now?
Well, the marching orders is progress. You got white America that came over to this land with less than 6,000 people. Within 30 years, they took over the whole. But just think of the first six ships that came here from England. How many Indians do you think was in the Americas at the time that they came here?
True.
If they had killed them on the shores, we wouldn't have this type of situation today, huh?
Probably not, Doc. Probably not.
So it's not the numbers, it's the heart. When they left England, it was just like you seen Scarface, right?
Right.
The movie Scarface, and when Fidel gave the exit, he took all of the dudes out of prisons and off the streets and out of the crazy house and put them on a boat to Florida. And he said, swim or sink. Huh?
Right. And they made it. Some of them made it.
And they made it. So I was reading this article that this brother had, And the biggest downfall that we have as a people, this dude said, black people don't want to be free. We just want white people to like us.
Interesting.
Okay.
So we've been in every war since the Plymouth Rock. We done lost lives, done shed blood. And out of 50 states, we don't got one. That's bad economics, huh?
That's real bad economics, Doc. I never thought about that.
50 out of every war that they've been, we got Little China, we got Korea, we got Elvira Street, we got Little Armenia. Where's Little Negro land?
Yeah.
That's interesting. A question, the Marv, how can we acquire that if we got all this inner fighting, man?
Well, I mean, you know, that's the first thing us as blacks talk about, inner fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did you hear about a thing called the Crusades? White people killed white people for 300 years.
Yeah, they have. They have.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
But let's talk about 2022, though. Yeah, because I feel like we're crabs in a barrel mentality. And you know, we could talk about what happened 700 years ago, but let's talk about 2022.
What?
And that's what we're talking about, 2022, because we always go back to when we were kings and queens. And I'm from Compton. Okay. I'm a Compton American. I can go back to crackheads and heroin addicts. I don't know what they did in Africa and don't give a fuck. I'm talking about Compton has always been great. I grew up in Compton when it was Mayberry, white as lily as, like they said, as the driven snow. I grew up with the Spook Hunters and the Minutemen. Never
heard of the Minutemen before.
Huh?
I knew about the Spook Hunter. Never heard of the Minutemen.
The Minutemen were out of Victory Park. Those were the crackers that's over between Compton Boulevard and Wilmington. You know, they got Victory Park over to where the Samoans live right now.
Right.
That used to be the section from Wilmington, Compton Boulevard, and Elantra over to the canal. Okay. It was some projects where the Po Patties lived, right? Mm. And they used to ride around on Honda 50s and mopeds with BB guns. And if you be out after 7, 8 o'clock coming past Wilmington, they would shoot at you with BB guns, right? And wow. My generation found out that Woody Sporting Goods sold BB guns too. So we went and stole BB guns and started shooting back.
Mm. Where was Woody's at, man?
Woody Sporting Good was on Compton Boulevard. It's when Compton Boulevard had Newberry, J.C. Penney's.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
I grew up with the Compton show. We couldn't go to the show until 2 o'clock on Sundays. Blacks couldn't, right?
Why not?
And crackers could go in there anytime they wanted, but Negroes couldn't go until after church on Sunday, right? And our generation was the first generation. We wanted to go see Beach Party with a neck Funicello. We loved that.
Oh, yeah.
The Mickey Mouse Club, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So everybody got I was at Tivy School, elementary. So Enterprise, Willowbrook, and Walton, all the boys, my older cousin, Lil J, Gary Scott, we all got together and rushed the movie, about 50 young blacks, Saturday morning, right? And ran in there to watch the movie. And they called the police, and Johnson them came in there. We all sitting there watching the movie. He asked, "Did you pay to get in?" We said, "Yeah, we paid our dime." And that white man made them turn the movie back on. And we watched me. And that time we start going to the movie every Saturday.
Wow. That's on Long Beach Boulevard?
Huh?
That was on Long Beach Boulevard?
No, that was the tower on Long Beach Boulevard. Compton show was on Compton Boulevard in Tamara.
Nigga, we got me beat on that, but I don't know what you're talking about.
Now, I know you don't. I said some shit was going before you was born, kid.
Yeah, but I didn't know nothing about that right there, Doc. I knew about the one on Long Beach Boulevard on Linwood that you couldn't go in.
That was the arcade. We had the tower right where the furniture store is on Long Beach Boulevard in Compton.
Right.
It was a movie theater there called the Tower. Okay. And on Compton Boulevard and Tamarind, it was the Compton show.
Okay. Wow. That's way before my time, Doc. That's why I got
way before a lot of the time. A dude told me one time, he said that my timeline was off, that the Ayatollah don't know what he's talking about, that the treetops is over here, and it was no such thing as Boot Hill, and where Nutty Block was before Nutty Block was Nutty Block, it was Boot Hill, because their neighborhood is right behind the graveyard.
Damn. History.
Yeah.
I think.
Go ahead, Mar.
Their history started in 75.
Yeah. Keep those comments coming. We're gonna get to them all, and you know, as normal, you got some.
What big homie don't even know me? He ain't a big homie then. He's probably born in 96.
He's replying. Yeah, you're replying to a comment. Someone in the comment section said, "This old nigga Marv
this
be
old
lying.
Nigga don't know he lying. He don't know what he's talking about." Well, hey, yeah, I'm at Gonzales Park. I'm at Tams every day. Come check me on my live. That's the proof. The proof is the truth. I ain't running. I ain't for which of your homies. You ain't got no big homie that know more than Compton about me. None.
Now, Marv, how you 71? You say how old you 71?
72.
72.
Damn, man, you look good for your age, dog. Whatever you taking, I want 2 of them.
You got
San Quentin, 25 years.
Wow. Oh no, I don't want that.
Now you got me by 7 years. So things you talking about that I don't know about. Now I hit Compton. I was 10 years hanging out with my dad about 11 years old. I wasn't paying Compton no attention because I was a Catholic school kid, so I didn't go everywhere. But I knew raised in Compton because we had to go down to Newberry's or Newberry's or Sad Sacks, whatever the case may be.
Compton, right?
All that shit right there. But I'm just saying it's a lot of stuff that even I don't know because Compton was in the transition when I was coming up. Because when I went to Centennial in 73, and I hit Centennial in 72, I walked through the hallways. The basketball team pictures was all white. They were still all white.
Okay. In 72?
Yeah,
not no 72. No basketball team was all white. Not a Centennial.
The pictures on the wall.
Oh yeah, the pictures on the wall probably.
Yeah, not the team, but the pictures. They still had the white pictures on the wall. I think where did white boys come from? I didn't know. So anyway, go ahead, Doc. Do your thing.
Yeah, no. So it's just these things. I just been relevant all this time. People like, oh, you say no. I never said I founded PlRU. I said I'm the oldest living active member of PlRU in Compton. I represent PlRU because it's a street in Compton. PlRU's are citizens. Once they understand what their citizenship is, I'm trying to bring back a formulation. Before the Republicans and the Democrats, they were the Whig Party and the Federalists. They was a gang, a mob, and they went against England and declared their independence. Okay. So I'm just trying to get us to understand that we can do some stuff independently that changes the world. We didn't change the world. The city of Compton, 10 square miles. I was in Johannesburg, South Africa. They had Compton hats on. Yeah. Everywhere you go, I just met some little dudes out of the Philippines that want to be PlRUs. We affected everybody. N.W.A. came out and changed the whole hip hop system. We the only ones don't know our worth. Ain't that what they said about Jesus? When he was in his own neighborhood, he was just a carpenter's son.
Right.
So we got a lot of power that we don't use. And we don't know how to ask for it and how to demand. But in 2023, I'm going to make a change on that situation right there and show young Black men how to become part of something and do a lot of stuff in our own neighborhoods.
I got some plans myself for 2023. We're going to talk after we get off air.
Oh, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Do you realize we got 46,000 registered voters in the city of Compton. The mayor won the race with 1,800 votes.
Right.
That's sad.
The total amount of people that voted was like 5,000 or something like that.
5,600.
Okay. Yeah.
Out of 46,000 registered voters.
out of a population of 110,000.
Yeah. So we have an untapped source that we ain't even tapped to get at. And we have the ability, we just ain't used it.
Now, Marvin, I got a question for you. Now, we just had an election last week, man. I had to argue and fight with some fools how my elections voting don't mean nothing. What you think about that? Obviously, you know something. Talk to me.
It don't mean nothing if you don't know, if you don't vote in a block. See, about time when they made popular votes, when Lyndon Baines Johnson was one of the best presidents, if you look for anything, is emancipation for blacks. With his creation of the School Act and voting rights, but at the same time in 1964, when they legalized voting for black people, the white man had already made electoral votes count. Fuck your popular vote.
Isn't he the one that allegedly said, "I'll have those niggers voting Democrat for the next 200 years"?
Yes. And that's what he meant. You understand me? And what makes it so crazy, before, when the revolution, the Democrats were on the South. They were the Dixiecrats.
Right.
And the Republicans was from the North. So how did we switch with the Dixiecrats? Mind manipulation is a motherfucker, man, if you don't know what to do with it, huh?
Man.
It worked.
That's real.
Yeah, it works. And like this dude say, this old nigga, I've been here, this old nigga that been through every penitentiary in California. I done been in damn near every hole in California. I done pushed a line from the BGF to PlRU's, and I ain't got a bunch of hickeys and scars and stretch marks and a gunshot wound. So I am an aggressor, nigga.
And I was going to stay away from this guy, but you brought him up within the first minute of our conversation, so it sounds like you're game to discuss him. What happened the day you and Melvin went to the podcast with Charleston White, where he walked out mid-interview? What happened that day from your point of view? And start all the way from the beginning.
Okay, first of all, I didn't know Charleston White from a can of paint. And when he talked about what happened with Crips in LA, I have nothing to do with LA. I keep my business Compton. We got enough problems in Compton. I don't go to LA and look at LA's business or wonder about what Big Hugh does or what anybody else does. But him and Mob James had a discussion where they became, and Mob James threatened him. And Charleston White made a comment about fuck Montreal, which was somebody that was dear to us that got killed in a little conflict about death row. And it was some political shit behind it. So a lot of people talked about it. So I said, well, man, dude ain't never been to Compton. So I got with Melvin Farmer, and we went back to Dallas, Texas. No, that didn't happen in California. We flew back to Dallas, Texas with our money. And we went on his platform, and they had discussed. I told him, man, bro, I don't know you. I just want to discuss with you, about what we felt about Montreal. Maybe you didn't know this, So he like, okay, cool. We're going to do it like this. But he's not a person. If you look at anything he does not discuss anything. He sits on his platform and hoops and hollers and say a gun. So he started going in. And when he started going in, he was like, so he got to the point, he still never said anything about Compton. He got to going in on Melvin where Melvin couldn't take it. And Melvin told him what he told him. And he got up and walked out. So dude like, man, well, you should have bombed on him. Well, y'all should have took a flight and went down to Texas and bombed. Ain't nobody bombed on him yet, have they?
No.
So he ran up out of his own interview. So what was I supposed to do?
Gotcha. There's something that I would love to ask you, because I was curious when this happened, and I was going to ask you or Melvin Farmer. Shout out to Melvin Farmer, hitting corners. A few months ago, you and Melvin came out stating that you had paperwork on Charleston White, saying that he was a snitch. We later learned that paperwork was from when he was 14 years old, which was like 30 years ago. I'm curious what your plan was in bringing that up to the public. And we kind of already knew that he was a snitch, I guess, in the first place, self-proclaimed snitch.
He came on his platform is that he killed a white man, that he was the murderer, and he set all this thing in play, that he did this. And if anybody that would find out that he was a snitch, him and Say Cheese would pay him $25,000. We got the paperwork. He thought we wouldn't get the paperwork. We got the whole transcript of what happened to him. Okay. And he embraced it. I'm not mad at it. I'm just making a point of clarification. Right. So now you know he's a snitch. So, I mean, 90% of the dudes out here today are snitches. So, you know, you get on a platform and talk about what Big Hugh did. West Coast Charleston White and Charleston White talking about that Big Hugh is on grid program. And he had, do you realize what Eric Holder, what kind of deal he would have made if he had told the police that that Big Hugh paid him to kill Nipsey Hussle? Right. Just the common sense of that. You dig what I'm saying? Ain't none of, but this is the same dude. He just don't know how to, and I don't know Big Hugh from a can of paint. Me and him never talk. That's LA. But I'm looking at this dude's work. He took 100 black kids and bought them tuxedos and put shoes on their feet and took them out to dinner and took them to a play. You know, those little bit of beads, those little seeds grow into another kind of plant. So these same dudes that's talking this shit about what he did, Yosemite Sam ain't came in no neighborhood and done nothing for you. Talk about he's $1 million guy. He's never come in no neighborhood and done anything for PlRU, but he always had on PlRU. This dude in Dallas, he ain't done nothing for Dallas. So you look at the work of what people do. Look at my work. It's not, I didn't just start this. I was in YTS in 1971. I started the first Black youth council in the city of Compton, got gang members and leaders out of Compton and put them in city government, showed them how gangsters really work. After the gang truce in 1992, I had Garth Brooks dedicate $1 million to the city of Compton. I did Dre Day in 2014. Dr. Dre, Compton's first Black billionaire. Every June 19th in Compton is Dre Day. You may not know who freed the slaves in Texas, but youngsters know Dre Day, huh?
Yeah.
So those are some of the things that accomplish. Man, everybody do some crazy shit, but we criticize each other for one mistake we made. You could have done it. Lonzo been around in the music business doing things, but do you hear about him every day? Some of these crackpots that just jump up and get into this, they ain't putting no work in.
No, that's true. That's very true. Now, I got to give you that one, Doc. I got to give you that one because folks always got something to say because they don't know shit. They don't do their research. They just assume because I didn't even see your Facebook folks we old that we ain't never done it. We didn't get old by being stupid. That's for damn sure.
That's what I'm saying, bro. You know, so I'm still relevant. You know. You can say whatever they want to say, but they can test it. They just make an appointment. I'll be at Gonzalez Park for real every day.
There it is.
We live with Marv, OG PlRU boy from back in the day. Man, while I got you, Marv, I got it.
Real quick. Thank you, OG Steve, for that donation, and thank you, Marlon, for that donation. And please, guys, hit that like button if you haven't already. We have Ayatollah Marv in the building. If you have any questions, please comment down below, and we'll try to get to all of them. So, yeah, thank you. Go for it, Lonzo.
Marv, I got a question. How do we take the violence out of the gang activity? How can we do that? Is it possible?
We don't need to take the violence out. We don't need Negroes always want to take violence out. Jesus ain't coming back. He busy. He got some other shit on his mind. You dig what I'm saying? See, he trying to keep hell under wraps. So we have to just recognize where we have to aim our violence at the people that aims it at us. You know, I was watching. They got this thing about Emmett Till, right? Mm-hmm. And I was looking at the documentary about Emmett Till, and he got killed in 1955, right?
Okay.
So in 1955, they brought his body back to Chicago. They said over 100,000 people viewed Emmett Till, a 15-year-old that got killed by white America, right?
Right.
They said that the two men that were accused of killing Emmett Till got found not guilty. The papers in France said it was an atrocity that America would let some people go that would do something, it was inhumane. England wrote an article about it and said it was a miscarriage of justice to Black America. The nappy-head niggas, coons, and possums, the NAACP, and the Jewish Defense League says in 1955, they raised over $1 million for the Emmett Till Fund, right?
Okay.
In 1955, $1 million would be 100 million today, huh?
Pretty much.
So what edifice, your Black edifice of Emmett Till, do you have today? So these same white folks is still doing Emmett Till shit to Black kids right now in 2022. What has changed? Now they got a movie called Till or Emmett Till. Ain't no one Black director. Nobody's profiting off the Emmett Till movie but white America again. So do Black lives matter?
They got to matter. They got
to matter to us first, right?
Matter to us.
They got, and it's not going to matter to us until we recognize who the enemy is. It ain't me and you.
But when I walk out of my house, when my son, unfortunately, who's 23 years old, Black male, walks out of his house, he has like 1,000% more chance getting killed by somebody of his own race. So his enemy is, unfortunately, the person who looks just like him, right?
Not actually. I mean, that's convenient. When you don't know. See, I didn't grow up and ain't nothing in the gang and nothing that I've ever done. I haven't never had no IB on another Black. It's all of, you can check my history. You can go back and do a fact check. For me in prison, every victim that I had on the street was somebody other than me. We didn't grow up. And when I grew up in my neighborhood, we hit thrifty stores, we hit J.C. Penney's. To get more money to do something. This is how you showed me how you was down. Not hitting another brother or jumped in. He did this. That don't make it. It don't make it good. So until we realize who the enemy is and start focusing, okay, these youngsters are taking target practice right now, but white people start aiming Black targets when they kids is 4 and 5 years old. That's why when a white man kills 14 or 15 Black kids and the police arrest him, he see him as a citizen. When he see you with a cell phone in your hand, he see you as an enemy.
So we know the white man is the enemy. Now what do we do? Now what? Now that we know that, like, we've been talking about that for 50, 60 years. Now
we don't know it. We think we free. Do you think it's by chance that all of these young Black rappers are getting killed? But ain't no country and western white folks getting killed. How come they ain't mad at each other? So we put that on the killer, or do we put that on the media?
Well, shit.
20 years ago, you didn't have high-speed chases, and still they start coming on commercials, and you start seeing them on Eyewitness News. Now everybody wants 30 seconds of fame, huh? We're glorified with things that we do. We look at these podcasts right now. The most successful podcast is us talking about us.
That's for damn show. That's for damn show.
Your podcast, if you had it about King Tutta and what we're trying to construct, you wouldn't have 13 people listening to it. But to talk about this old nigga, this old nigga don't know nothing, he be lying. What is this GGG? Well, all the OGs was 14 and 17 and 72. You was 22. And you joined a gang of kids. I was in prison in 72, idiot. I got out of prison in 1976. I got in the gang because it was economically successful for me. I made my first $100,000 in Fruitown on Cherry Street, slinging PCP like it was going out of style. Idiot. I got in the gang for the business.
You know what's interesting to me is I think, and I'm guilty of this also, but you've gotten like a dozen positive comments in the comment section. But we do this as a people also, we're focusing on the one person who's given us the negativity and he's getting all the attention. I think that's something that we need to change.
We clarify wherever I deal with right and what's wrong. If he was to saying something relevant, his mathematics, but he don't know me. And for the positive, we understand who the positive are, but it's just that one little piece of rotten cancer. If you allow it to spread, it will tear up the whole body.
That's very true. So, Marv,
I kill it off wherever it is. Since he's talking, I was 22. I caught a body in YTS and got sent to San Quentin, and it wasn't another black. And I put it in 1973. Compton, California was called murder capital of the world. They found 20 dead bodies in Compton. In San Quentin in 1973, we had 189 stabbings and 12 killings in a year. Murder capital of the world, and nobody had a gun.
Wow.
And it was blacks against everybody. And we walked the line, and I never locked up. All these dudes going to the hole and going this. I went to DBI, Tracy, California in 1984 from San Quentin, and it was 960 Crips on the line. And they told me, you're going to have to lock up. I walked their line for 5 months, never locked up, had a red, but I had help. Bam from Front Hood. These is my little homies. We're from Compton. You always going to have alliances. You can't be scared of life, bro. You know what I'm saying? So no, it's not the negative. The positive is going to be positive, but if you let these little sycophants ignite something, it have brought the character to reality. It's like, man, these closet queers that follow Charleston White. You know, they've been hating Bloods and Crips all the time. But let's go back to Texas. From 1973 to 2022, it's been over 3,500 murders of blacks at the hand of another, and them Negroes ain't done nothing about it. But who put the stick in their back when Crips and Bloods came to their state and made them Crips? They never. They got this dude OG Percy. He's talking about when he was in the prison and how he DP'd other blacks, but he didn't do nothing to Texas Mexicans. He didn't do nothing to the Aryan Brotherhood, but he beat up other brothers.
And that goes back to what I said earlier about we're our biggest enemy, man.
Yeah, when we don't know nothing, man, we think white people is God, man. Anybody gonna do nothing to God? When they see you do something,
I don't trust them any more than I trust,
You know, but that's you. That's good that you feel like that. But 90% of us, we're just like looking at the police. How are you a gangster? When you see me coming around, you'll pull a gun and ask me where I'm from. But when you see the police, you drop the gun and run. Killing is killing in my book. I don't discriminate.
You want to know who said a similar comment literally just about a month ago?
Who?
Charleston White.
White.
And what did he say?
He said just what you said. He said you'll pick up a gun quick to kill another black man, but when the cops come around, you act like, you know, a bee.
Right. Yeah. And he right. He heard my comment. You know, he clout chase. I love Charleston White. You wouldn't even ask me on the show if it hadn't been for Charleston White. He made me relevant. I mean, you know,
I honestly wasn't even going to bring Charleston White up, but you brought him up within the first minute. So I'm like, all right, let's talk about it, because that's the stuff that gets the views. You know, unfortunately,
I appreciate what he's done. You know, but the relevance is he's a shock jock. He talks about a lot of shit, but he's never lived none of it. He was on PC when he was in the youth authority.
What's P3? What's P3?
PC in prison.
Population. Protective custody.
Okay.
You know, he's a handicap. He knocked his own eye out. His man and done more to himself than he's ever done to anybody else, right? He don't have any arrest of assaulted anybody, black, white, blue, woman, or anything else. He got a gang of guns, and he's never shot anybody. So where is his relevance?
Okay.
So, you know, it ain't about Charleston. We're on this West Coast. The West Coast is a mess coast, but we getting ready to try to straighten it up. It's a mess coast, but we getting ready to try to straighten it up.
Yeah. You know what, since you're okay with addressing some of the negative comments, someone said in the comment, the most secret science is Marv is the architect of the problems we have today. He never takes responsibility for his role in driving hardworking blacks out of Compton. What would you say to him?
I say I don't know where you get that from. I'm part of the problem of driving hard white. No, the hardworking blacks felt they wanted to go to Michel'le and Diamond Bar and get closer to whites. We had a black-run city, and they ran from the city. Had nothing to do with Marv. I still got a house in Compton. You know what I'm saying? So I take responsibility for rejuvenating Compton. Omar Bradley was one of the top mayors that we had in building our city, and through blacks ruined him because he wouldn't bow down. So we've had the situations, but we just never had the backing. The people that said that they ran out of town, why did you run? If I was the problem, why didn't we take care of that problem then? Why am I still here?
Good question. I'm listening. Now, Marv, question. Now, are you still a member of the FOI?
Yes, sir.
All right, you still do the you still do security, right? Y'all still do security?
No. I graduated from that.
Okay. Does FOI still do security?
Yes, yes, some of them do.
How does FOI maintain the level of respect in the community that sometimes the police don't even get? Because I use them to do those all the time, as you very well know. And when the brothers was there, we didn't have no problems. You know,
right. At that time, we've lost a lot of respect over the years through the little situations that's happened that hasn't been acted on and hasn't been movement. So a lot of people got the nation in a lesser light than it was when in the 80s and the 90s when we was pushing a hard program. Now they done got softer and gentler, and people feel now they're admiring gangsters instead of Muslims.
Damn. That's a mouthful.
That's deep. That's deep.
I mean, so you look at a young man. Your homeboy is making $300,000-$400,000. He's a rapper. He's taking you to strip clubs and you want to trade that in for a bow tie and a suit and selling bean pies on the corner? I think not.
How do we go back to a time where that was cool? Because remember the late 80s, early 90s where, you know, for a minute, 2 years or so, 3 years, everybody was pro-black. Everybody had the black medallions. It was, you know, Queen Latifah. It was, you know, that type of music. But then gangster rap came around. How do we get back to that? Because we should make putting on a bow tie and preaching a good message. We should make that cool, but unfortunately it's the drill and the kill this and the F my op and the smoke and the op. How do we get back to being a good person cool?
Like you said, with the FOI during the 60s and the 50s, dudes was checking out of prison, checking right into Mars 27, checking in. Everybody wanted to be a Muslim because it was a push on white America. You feel what I'm saying? And they demanded pimps, hustlers, and everybody to respect the Nation of Islam. If you said, I drive Lincolns and eat bologna, you get smashed. It was called disgracing Islam. And brothers were acting like they believed it with their heart. Now, if somebody says something about Minister Farrakhan in front of a Muslim, half of these Negroes don't do nothing. You couldn't say nothing in the 60s about the Honorable Elijah Muhammad and not get your face broke. So if you don't demand it, Moses just didn't go in the caves and talk to. He cracked the ring of fire. He cracked them over their head, and they walked around with dogs for 300 years. And Moses went in and checked them and straightened their back up. That's why white America always emphasized the cross. That's what brought him back to civilization. So we got to wake up to bed.
All right. We're live with here, folks. We are live. We are live. We are live. We got about 70 people in the chat room right about now, folks.
Yeah. Please hit that like. Please hit that like button. I have a question. You know, unfortunately, Ayatollah Marv and Lonzo, we've lost a lot of rappers, specifically, you know, in the past. Just it seems like every week we're losing another rapper. Why do you think that is, Ayatollah Marv? And what are your thoughts on checking in?
Everybody checks in. I sold dope all over the United States. For me to go into Texas, to go into New York, I couldn't go in these states and just put my line down. I had to check in with somebody. See, it's a difference between checking in and paying rent. Now, if you come to my state and have to give me $10,000, that's paying rent for me to be in your state. But a safe haven for you, man, all the places that PMB could have went to Roscoe. He could have went to Roscoe's in Hollywood. He could have went to Roscoe's on Manchester and Los Angeles. He went to Maine and Manchester. What gave him that right and didn't talk to nobody about it? That's a death sentence. So checking in is logical. I just went to Chicago. I had to check in.
I got a question. When you check in, what do you mean? What do you mean by you had to check in?
It's like when you go somewhere, like it's in authority. If one police go to another state, he check with that police department and let them know he here. You feel what I'm saying?
Right, got you.
So if I go to your state and know Lonzo is running this part of the state, it behooves me to talk to Lonzo because I don't know the streets of your state. I don't know what's safe and what's not safe.
Okay.
And you can tell me, well, hey, bro, some of my people say they saw you over there. Ain't a good place to be. Man, like I said, I sold dope in 30 states of the United States, and I've never been jacked because I never influenced myself, thought I was bigger than the program.
Why does it seem to me like Black people are the only ones that need to check in?
And it's not that the Black people only. Do you know what made check-in possible? A white boy. When that little white boy came to what's his name, 6ix9ine, he's the one started that check. I ain't got to check in. A white man ain't got to check in. You didn't hear nothing about no check-in policy before he ran his mouth. And everybody started getting offended about it. I ain't got to check in. Yeah, you do. You should.
So, okay.
And for the record, I think Charleston White is literally in Los Angeles as we speak. And I don't think he's checked in with anybody. He seems to just be bouncing around, going where he wants to go. Like, who needs to check in? People who are, I'm assuming you mean people who are affiliated with gangs. Correct?
No.
Like, let's say I own a business. Do I need to check in just because I'm going to Houston? You know, I own a car detailing shop, and I'm going to do some car detailing in Houston.
When you go to Houston, you're checking. You're going to deal with some people in the car dealership in the detailing, right?
Yeah.
You're not just going in there to fool around, right?
Right.
So they know you coming, right?
Yes.
I kind of get it. It just seemed like, I mean, if you go someplace and you don't know where you're going, it's best to tap in with somebody who knows what's happening in the area. I get it, but you know, some people make it seem like it's a mandatory thing, and it's a fee attached to that. If you don't pay this fee, your ass is in jeopardy. That's the part that I think some people got it kind of twisted, or seem to be that is in some cases. Even my man here in the chat room seemed like it's a bit of extortion. Okay,
correct.
All right, and that's the part I think people have an issue with. If I mean, you know, because I go to Oakland, I'm gonna check in with my cousins. My cousin lives in down by East 14. They live in East Oakland. Now, East Oakland has changed dramatically since I was there last. Okay. And used to be a time we would go down to the park, MacArthur Park, hang out, whatever the case may be. But my cousin, I ain't been in a while, but last time I was in Oakland, he said, hey, man, MacArthur Park ain't like it used to be. I'm going to his house and hang the fuck out. I ain't going to MacArthur Park. Even if we would go to MacArthur Park, my other cousin would put his shit in his bag to make sure if it was necessary, he had his tools to go to work. Okay. So, you know, Charleston, I mean, I told the fella off.
Ayatollah Marv joined.
He back. Okay, let me hit him back in. All
right. Thanks, brother. Sorry we lost you.
Okay, that's okay. So just you're talking about your car dealership and so you're going to Houston for a purpose, right?
Correct, yes.
And people know you're coming. The people in Houston know you're coming, huh?
Yes.
So you checked in.
Fair enough. Okay.
You ain't just popped up on them, huh?
Right.
So you checked in.
You know, and
fair enough.
The way the streets are right now, I was in Sacramento. Where I wanted to go in Sacramento, where we were hanging out at, We was on we was in the Old Block, Old Town, something like that in Sacramento.
Old Town, right?
Old Town, okay. And we was with some folks, and we right there in the heart of where it's going down at. But because we was with some folks that was already bona fide, we didn't have to check in because they're not coming no way. But it's just I get it because the streets are so unpredictable. You don't know what side of the street you on, and you can find yourself caught up. But again, it's like we being preyed on, you know, because if you don't know who I am, that means you got the right to jack me.
It's not whether I got the right. It ain't but two things in the jungle, right? It's predator and prey. And if you are not predator, you the prey. So if you don't want to be a predator and you don't want to be the prey, stay the fuck out the jungle.
Well, shit, I guess that's why you got to check in to find out what the jungle is.
You got to find out what the jungle is, huh?
My finding out where the jungle is Googling. If I'm going to Arizona, I'm Googling what areas in Arizona not to go to, and I'm just not going to those areas. But I'm going in, I'm doing my business, and I'm out.
Yeah, you see most artists, they stay north of Wilshire because they know ain't no gang members coming over there clowning because them white folks not allowing them, huh?
Shit, at the same token, we got dudes getting killed at the Beverly Center. I mean, we lost Dollar at the Beverly Center. We lost,
all of that is personal. All that, and that wasn't random.
Interesting. Interesting. Marvin, you got a podcast too?
Oh yeah. Ayatollah Marv podcast.
Oh, nice. Tell us where they can find that.
On YouTube, Ayatollah Marv podcast. Yosemite Sam said I don't have but 17 followers, but all my 17 is real killers. They ain't fans.
Where did this WACK 100 or Yosemite Sam, as you call them, where did all that stem from?
I guess it stemmed from I was on Adam 22, and the brother asked me who was WACK 100, and I said what he say about people. I don't know him. I don't know him. You know, I don't know nothing about him. So he took offense about it, I guess, and went on his little clubhouse and said, this old nigga, 71-year-old nigga, when I see him, I'm gonna knock him out. And I'm like, okay, I accept the challenge. I'll give you $10,000 if you knock me out. I seen him hit stitches and didn't even knock the white boy down. So it went from one level from knocking me out. Did he put a contract on me? Said, "What he gonna see what this bag gonna do?" You know what I'm saying? So he just talked.
How much was the contract worth, Marv?
Huh?
He just said a bag. He just said he'll put a bag on his head or something like that, which is probably not smart to say online. Clubhouse is a monster in itself. I hear people say stuff on that. I'm like, because they almost took 6ix9ine down because he said I got 30K on his head or something. Like, you know, that can't say stuff, man.
And he said, and what made it so crazy, he said it in front of the podium. Reggie Wright had hooked us up on the phone, and he felt so bold that he said, "I'm gonna show you what this bag gonna do with an audience." So I mean, it's nothing, you know. I mean, it's all you can. I never underestimate anybody. You know, in this life here, I like I say, I've been the aggressor. I haven't been the victim many times. I have been the victim sometime, but I can't see myself getting wiped out on no petty stuff that a guy I don't even really know. You know.
What are your thoughts, Ayatollah? And I obviously say this respectfully, but you know, we have a lot of 19, 20-something year olds acting up online, doing stuff online that is unheard of nowadays, you know, arguing back and forth, saying stuff like that. They're seeing, and my thing is, if they're seeing, you know, older cats like yourself, and I say that 100% respectfully, and WACK 100 kind of doing the same thing, do you think you're setting a good example for these kids in that relation where you're going? I mean, I've heard you and WACK go back and forth, bitch ass nigga, F you, I'll do this, I'll do that. You know, do you think maybe you should just let some stuff slide at your age and you understand you have 20-year-olds looking at you?
Right. You're right.
That was just my question. I mean, I'm just asking, you know, I see older cats, and I say that I'm 45 years old, and when I see cats older than me going at it online, I'm like, I don't know if that's a good example to be setting for these kids that are 19, 20.
Right. Well, I'm not trying to be an example or a role model. I'm just trying to show in whole.
Okay, fair enough. I thought you were. I thought you were. My bad. I'm sorry.
No, some of my antics may be where I am or what I say, and but I just hope the whole of me or what I do is a different perspective of what people may intimidate. I mean, to say some stuff online, you have to be probably the dumbest person on the planet, because they say in law everything you say can and will be held against you. So you're online, and you know, I deal with Facebook, and I remember a dude was saying something one day, and I just put a comment about these politicians and these coons, and they blocked me off of Facebook because I said the word coon, right? But
yeah, we learned that the hard way on Lonzo.
Yes, sir.
You learned that the hard way on this show. We'll probably have to edit that part out, but keep going.
But then you can say MFDM and I'll kill your kids and not a go. It's no, you know, it's no filtering. So how do we structure on what we can say about each other?
Ooh, that's deep. That's deep. Let me ask you on the same level, Ayatollah, and we're going to respectfully ask you to not mention the name of the group, but we're going to call them the J Crew, which is who Kanye West went after recently, the J Crew. I would love your thoughts on this, you know, how we could say nigga, 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 nigga. We could literally just do a whole YouTube video saying nigga for 10 minutes and no flag, nothing's going to happen. But the one time you say something about other groups, and please be careful how you approach this respectfully for the channel, because this is where they start paying attention. But why do you think there are other groups where you say something about them one time and it's a wrap, it's a done deal?
Because it's a different being a slave than a free man. A slave is not able to have an opinion. A slave, Kanye made the statement that slavery is a choice, right? And Negroes got at it like, whoa, how did he say that? Well, when the slaves came over here initially, they didn't have a choice, right? But when you get paid $100,000 or $200,000 and you can't kneel on one knee, you still a slave, huh? So you think you're a freed slave? So he said slavery is a choice. So you have a choice whether you want to. Mine says once you have robbed a man of everything, he is no longer in your power. He's free again. For you people who don't know Mao, Mao was the chairman of China. Yeah. Who made the Chinese Revolution. And he says, once you have robbed a man of everything, he is no longer in your power. He's free again. So once you've taken everything from me, you got nothing to take but my life. So white America holds little carrots over your head like a donkey and make you chase it. And if you say anything out of line, you're shut down. Now, let me say about Semitism and Semitics. A Semite, if you understand the word of what a Semite is, out of the tribe of Judah, a Samaritan, a Semite is an Arab, actually. So where do these other folks come off adopting a name that ain't theirs? But no matter how structured you are, you're not allowed to say it. But they can say, they can, Brett Favre, all these white, they can say anything and it's a slap on the hand and apologize. Kyrie and Kanye, man, you are being scolded critically. I'm going to take you out the house and put you back in the field. Stay in your place. And we don't back them. None of the coons that's in politics, ain't nobody came to their aid. Ain't nobody helped them out. Even the other players and the other artists. But yeah, he should apologize. Apologize for what? Ain't nobody criticize Amazon for putting the movie out.
That's true too.
Is it because we accept it though? I mean, we accept the N-word like it's homie. Like because I'm gonna look myself in the mirror. I don't like pointing fingers. I hate pointing fingers. Like I like looking like
not the N-word. It's just not the N-word. I told you at the beginning of this. We don't want freedom. We just want white people to like us. And when you say the N-word, when you say the N-word, you already said nigga in your heart anyway.
Exactly.
Oh,
I wish they would just say it. I know. I wish they would just say it. Just say the word, please.
I don't use the N-word. Like, you already said nigga.
Exactly.
All right,
so they manipulate us in what we do. But when it comes to us, our artists and our celebrities, they don't have a private life. You can't express yourself as an individual. Every one of our, like you said, well, I'm not an example of nobody. I'm one man. White America don't hold themselves to the same standard. Harvey Weinstein got arrested for rape, robbery, and all kinds, but they didn't tear the whole industry down, did they?
No, they didn't. Hey, Doc, it's about time to wrap up, Marv. Much love.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man.
Tell them where they can find you, Marv, please.
They can find me at Gonzales Park. I mean, really.
Tamsburger, Gonzales Park, every day. You look good for you look great for eating Tamsburger every day, homeboy. I'm telling you that, man. You look great. Keep doing what you're doing. You look 20, 30 years younger.
There. I just hang out there. You know what I'm saying? For all the passers-by that want to see. But you can check me out at Pottsgrove Farms on Facebook, pottsgrovefarms.com, Ayatollah Marv podcast on for YouTube. I'm getting ready to do some great things. And Lonzo, we get ready to bring Compton back black.
All right. All right, Marv. What's up to you, Doc? Thank you very much.
Peace, man. Thank you. Thank you, man. Thank you, Marv.